Hey, you guys, how are you? I hope you had an amazing weekend. We are back again for another story time. You know what, you guys? I thought of this story time while I was driving to this. I'm in the office, you guys, and just burst out laughing, you guys. So it's going to be some spin-off stories from this story that I tell you, but I got to give you all the characters, the people that's in play first. But before we get started, you guys, I'm so excited. Before we get started, go ahead and click the bell for notification, give the videos a thumbs up. Also engage with me down in the comments, you guys. Subscribe to the channel, you guys, and if you enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't enjoy the video, what do we always say? We don't care. Keep it scrolling, because we don't really want to fool with you like that. I think later on this week I'm gonna come back with a You Say What show, because honey, it is mayhem and drama and things that are happening in the world that we need to get the tea on. Okay, I got to tell you what the tea is. Okay, so you guys, prior to me living on this street, it was called Findlay Street. Where do we live? We lived on Vine Street. If you've been following me for a while, we lived on Vine Street, and we live above this. I thought it was a haunted thrift store, you guys, but actually it was rats running in the business downstairs from us. So from that place, you guys, we end up moving over to a street called Findlay Street. Now, Findlay Street, I think we were probably about, I probably was like maybe 10 or 11 years old. Tracy had to be about 12 or 13. And then there was my younger brother, JoJo, and my oldest brother, Wendell. Now, within this little community, I call it, there were 3 different apartment complexes, and we had one common area that we will play in, okay? And so in this particular area, you guys, I was so not feeling that new area. I was so not feeling the new area. We weren't used to being around a whole bunch of other kids, because where we lived, there were no other children that lived there whatsoever. But these people were really, really special. But as time went on, we got used to it. Okay, so we moved there, I believe it was in the summertime, you guys, because nobody moves in the winter. It's too cold, not unless you have to. Okay, so there was an old lady. So here's our building here. Our building goes like this. There's a building here, and then there's a building there. And then in the middle is the common area. Okay, so in our building, let's start with our building first. On our building, we were on the first floor. Above us was a lady named, oh God, I can't say these people real names. Marche. Marche had a daughter that lived there, and Marche had a boyfriend that lived there as well. Now, her boyfriend was a twin. Who, honey? Let me speak. And honey, that twin was bad. You know, he made my 11-year-old heart pitter-patter, honey. Tall, dark-skinned dude. He was a basketball player, and he had a brother that was, I said, God said, give me double for your trouble. He was fine in a mother, and all he wore was basketball shorts. My God, dribble down that court, would you? He was fine. He was fine. And so we'll say his name. It began with a D, but I can't say what his name. We'll say Donald and Douglas. We'll say their name is Donald and Douglas, but it wasn't. And so they were like these real popular. As time went on, I found out they were the real popular, like super sexy twins that was in Ohio. Honey, I may need to look them up. But him and Marsha, my God, they fought all the time. They fought, and Marsha was a beautiful lady. They fought all the time, and all we used to hear all the time, y'all, was boom, 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 boom. It was like, honey, the people work for the military, because they bumped and stomped and jumped all day long. And the roof was like this roof. You see where the tiles is, where you could push it up? Sometime, you guys, they would bump so much that dust, honey. Can you imagine watching television and dust just falls on the top of your head? You're like brushing it out of your hair, like, what the heck? Dust will fall out of, out of the ceiling, because they're up there bumping so much. So we couldn't take the broom and like hit the roof, because if you hit the roof, you're gonna push it up. Honey, the worst. Besides him just being eye candy, the worst neighbors that you ever want to have live above you ever in life. Now, above him, there was a woman that lived there. Her name was Sandra. We'll say her name is Sandra. And Sandra had a son. And I don't know if her son name, we'll say his name is Ron. So her son name is Ron. So Ron went to school with Tracy, but Ron was nasty. And so, mind you, we came from an area, you guys, where there was no kids, to being chased because he's trying to hump people. These young teenage boys in their pubescent area, honey, you can't hump girls. So him and his friends always wanted to play hide and go seek. But come to find out, y'all, it was called hide and go get it, because when he would catch you, Lord, when they would catch you, they would like grind on your butt, and he would just make this stupid noise like, ooh, ooh, on your butt. I'm like, what the hell in jeez? And honey, obviously it made Tracy happy to be grinded on. So one day, you guys, he's in the hallway. So when he would come in the hallway, he would tap on our door because everybody knew that Bear, your internet daddy, was strict. So he would come and tap on our door. And then we go sneak to the door. Tracy go sneak to the door. Tracy would go sneak to the door. Or sometime I would too, who knows. But Tracy would normally beat me to the door because Tracy was a fast tail. So we would go to the door and look, and he'll be like up the little steps on the platform doing just like humping and just doing nasty stuff. I know he got 1,000 children right now scattered abroad, honey. If not internationally. And so he had low cut hair. He had pretty little gray eyes. Child, one day when he knocked on the door, we looked out there. He's doing his little humpity hump thing. And he pulled his pants down. And it was... I said, oh, never have I been hypnotized in my life. I said, what? We slammed the door because me and Tracy were appalled. You guys, if we would have moved from an area where there was like some little bitty off the chain kids, and then you moved to an area where there's more off the chain kids, maybe we could have adjusted. But we went from no kids to nasty neighbors swirling their things in the hallway. I said, my God, this building is wild. Who is the landlord at this point? So that was our building. So then the next building that was right here, that one had, who was on that first floor? On the second floor, I forgot who was on the first floor, but the second floor, there was a girl that stayed there, and we'll say her name is Missy. Oh, her real name was, well, honey, she ain't gonna never find me. Her name was Missy, and we used to call her Pissy Missy. Well, the people used to call her Pissy Missy. Henceforth, we all started calling her Pissy Missy because she smelled like piss. Lord. But Missy was too old to smell like piss. Now I can see if it's a little kid that may be like a little pissy or something like that, because maybe they don't know how to wash, or your mama throw you in the tub and she ain't really paying you no attention, and you didn't wash your underarms and stuff like that correctly, or didn't wash up correctly, or you maybe pee in the bed. But Missy was every bit of 15, 16 years old. But Missy, for the life of me, would always have a bookery nose. If you think I'm lying, I'm going to tell my sister Tracy to watch this, and Tracy will tell you that Missy was just ornery for some reason. And Missy nose was always like green. She wasn't special or anything like that. She just was pissy and nasty. And her nose would be like green, the kind of mucus and boogers you have in your nose when you're like sick. And I remember one time Missy, now there was a guy that used to come over there named I might as well just say all these people name, D'Angelo. And honey, Missy liked D'Angelo. Now D'Angelo was good looking, but Missy ended up wiping a booger on D'Angelo. Baby, D'Angelo socked Missy in her chest and sent her in the building crying, honey. I said, Lord have mercy, child. Why would you do that? And so we kind of looked at her like, girl, that's what you get. But that was like our first, I guess, encounter with domestic violence. I don't know. She she went in that building and sat her funky tail down. Oh, now on the first floor of that building, that lady name was Betty. Betty, should I say? Oh, well, I done already said her name. She was old then, so there's no way she could be alive now. Anywho, Betty was cockeyed. Cock, baby. Her eyes was tangled. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Her eyes was tangled. But Betty had a big old booty. Betty booty was big, but Betty had to be about 45. She may have been a little bit older because Betty was kind of long in the tooth, but maybe had a rough life of some sort. Betty had missing teeth, but Betty butt was. Have y'all ever seen the Ant movie? Is it called the Ant movie or the Bee movie? And they had them booties, them bee booties and them ant booties. Betty booty was humongous. And Betty had a little daughter. Now, she was maybe a couple of years younger than me, probably like 7 or 8 years old. And she had an older daughter. Her name was, I won't say her real name. Her name was Donella. And she was light-skinned, very pretty girl, very pretty, very put together. She didn't mess with anybody. All the little boys liked her or what have you. But she was older. She was probably like 16, 17 years old. But Betty, honey, Betty was wild. And Betty had a husband, honey. That man went to work every single day, Betty's husband was. He loved her and her ass, honey. Quit playing. So then, in the other building that was over on this side, now that building was hopping. There was a man named, and I know this man ain't alive, honey. So I'm going to say his name, Hodges. Drunk Hodges. Hodges, I don't know what therapy, what he was trying to drink away, what trauma he was trying to forget in his life, but Hodges stayed drunk. And it was never a time that we lived over there. We lived over there for some years that Hodges was not drunk. Every single day, morning to night, Hodges was drunk. Hodges' pants was sagging before sagging pants came fashionable, baby. Hodges would be holding that one side of his pants, falling all over people. We trying to play kickball. Hodges come through there falling. Everybody holler, move out the way, Hodges, with your drunk boy. You know, they was cussing with your drunk, hey. Move out the way. Come on now. And he always said, come on now. Does he, I said, is he a broken record? Do he got Tourette's or something? He keeps saying, now. Hodges stayed drunk, and I just remember him having on like a pair of khakis, you know, like those school pants that everybody wear before school uniforms. He was so before his time, y'all. So there was Drunk Hodges. Now, Drunk Hodges stayed on the first floor, praise God, because he probably would have failed if he was on any other floor, because that building had about like 5 floors to it, if I'm not mistaken. So Hodges was there. In that same building was a lady. Now this one was like the high-low lady. Remember, if you don't know who the high-low lady is, go back and watch my video about the high-low lady. She put me, I was scared of her like I was the high-low lady. Miss Monroe. Miss Monroe, old lady, had to be 60-something years old. No teeth in her mouth. Miss Monroe had glasses on, and Miss Monroe had one of those holes in her throat. So she didn't have a trach or a breathing thing in it. She just had a hole in her. Oh, God, just thinking about it. Had a hole in her throat. And we would be out there playing kickball, and sometimes somebody's foot was cockeyed, or maybe somebody had a club foot, and they foot, you know, would make the ball hit the building. Miss Monroe come out there, hey, wait. Miss Monroe couldn't talk, y'all. I'm going to let that soak in real quick. Miss Monroe couldn't talk. Y'all had to stop the video. I had to stop the video and come back because I busted out laughing. Miss Monroe did not have a voice. And so, but you could kind of sort of tell what she was saying. She always was hollering. When she wasn't hollering, she was always blowing air away. Wait, that about? He went about. That's all she did. But she used to drink, y'all. I promise you, I'm not lying. Tracy, tell them about Miss Mineral. But what got me about Miss Mineral was, Miss Mineral smelled like liquor. But one thing about Miss Mineral drank her liquor in the house. Hodges drank his liquor wherever his liquor was, honey. Outside, indoor, wherever it was, he was drinking his liquor. But Miss Mineral would have like green, stuff in that hole. And if you look close enough, you could see the back of her like neck thingy, whatever that red thing is in the back of your neck. But this, what made me just sick, she would let the little kids pour stuff in that hole, which made me want to just vomit. I said, what? Child, but she stayed arguing at us. And sometimes we act like we ain't hear her, because really we didn't hear her. You just had to know that you heard wind whistling and blowing. There go Miss Mineral. She's saying something to mouthing something, but we ain't got time because we trying to have fun. Girl, you know how it was to be young. It is what it is, but that was Miss Mineral. Lord have mercy. And then above Miss Mineral in that building, there was a whole family. There was a guy, I'll call him Gary. Now, I got to tell you about the fight with me and Gary, honey. And then Gary had a sister. What do I say? Her sister? I don't know what his sister was. We'll say her name was Linda. And then it was the mama. And it was a little boy that used to beg all the time. He had this big old head like Caillou. He had a big Caillou head. And he was always begging for people. And I remember one time, you guys, he was begging from the guys in the neighborhood. And they urinated in a cup and let that little boy drink it because he always begged. I said, y'all wrong for that right there. Wrong. And then they would pick him up by his head. They was like, we give you some candy if you let us pick you up by his head. So they would pick him up like by his head. Like, I said, Lord, they're going to kill this little boy. He's still alive to today. He's still alive. And then there was a little girl, and we'll say her name is Tasca. So there was a little girl there, and honey, one time she messed around, burnt up mama's house down. Ooh, baby. That place was wild, honey. Wild. And then in the other building up on top, there was an old lady that lived there, but all her grandkids used to come over there. And child, they bullied us. Like, the girls bullied us for like a whole summer. But the boys liked us. And then one day, Tracy got tired of all of that, baby. And Tracy said, let me tell you something. I'm talking to you. My eyes buck like we about to get in a fight. And I think we gonna lose, Tracy. Tracy got sick of it for the summer. Honey, we're gonna call this video the Findlay Street Crew, honey. And we're gonna have some stories spent off from the Findlay Street Crew. Them jokers over there, and then the people across the street as well will come over. Now, past the bullying, when that old lady finally moved, it was great living there. We had so much fun, honey. If you got on punishment and your mama said you couldn't go outside, we were in tears bawling because we wanted to go outside, honey. That's where it was popping in that courtyard, you guys. You guys, so stay tuned for another story time this week of the Findlay Street Crew. And I may drive down there, you guys, and let you see a visual of the Findlay Street Crew. I sure will, because I have to go down that way today. Once I finish this video, I'm going to show you exactly where we used to live. And if I can get inside, I believe they got gates on it now. If I can get inside, I'll walk through and let you see. All right, you guys, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell for notification. Give the video a thumbs up. Also, engage with me down in the comments. You know I love the chitty chat. And if you don't like the video, keep it going and scrolling, because we don't care. And you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later on this week. Peace.